welcome to Zee Commodity Capsule. Let's begin with oil prices, which have slipped on Wednesday after having given a 1% gain in the previous trading session, as industry reports showed that crude and fuel inventories rose last week in US, reinforced mounting concerns that supply is exceeding demand in the global market. Brent crude prices are hovering just below $65 a barrel. We have seen that American Petroleum Institute figures stated that crude stocks rose by close to 45 lakh barrels in the week ended November 14, while gasoline inventories also rose by over 15 lakh barrels, and distillate inventories also saw a surge of close to 5,77,000 barrels. Official US government inventory data will be released later on Wednesday, that's today. Price gained on Tuesday as investors considered the impact of US sanctions on Russian oil exports and as Ukrainian attacks on Russian refineries and export terminals have increased concerns for crude and fuel disruptions. Coming on to copper prices, they managed to nudge higher after a 3-day decline on Wednesday as market participants awaited the release of delayed US jobs data with uncertainty over the Federal Reserve's rate decision, which is keeping the gains in check. We have seen copper prices manage to edge higher above $10,700 a ton mark on London Metal Exchange. Investors are basically trading cautiously ahead of the release of the official September US data that was delayed due to government shutdown in United States of America. Having said so, copper continues to be supported by the global supply concerns sparked by the mine disruptions worldwide. Freeport-McMoRan, however, on Tuesday said that it plans to resume production at Indonesia's Grasberg mine by July 2026, in line with the previous guidance after a September mud flood that killed 7 workers and halted operations. They also expect 2026 copper and gold output to be roughly in line with 2025 levels. Gold prices meanwhile have managed to recover sharply on Wednesday, trading very close to $4,100 an ounce as investors awaited minutes from Federal Reserve's latest policy meeting and US jobs report that could shed more light on the central bank's interest rate trajectory here on. Malaysian palm oil futures meanwhile inched higher for a 5th consecutive session on Wednesday, hovering close to 2-week high. It is supported by strong rival oils, though weaker crude oil prices continue to keep the gains in check. We have seen that Malaysian palm oil prices on Bursa Malaysia have inched above 4,200 Malaysian ringgit per ton. Expectations for firmer prices grew as stricter land seizure policies and plans to implement B50 biodiesel mandate in Indonesia raised the supply concerns. Robusta coffee is where you need to keep your eye on, because on ICE exchange we saw it closing higher on Tuesday, buoyed partly by the possibility that the removal of US import tariffs for most producers could lead to a pickup in demand. We saw Robusta coffee prices settling up by nearly 2%, close to $4,600 a ton after surging 6.2% on Monday.